Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make chocolate fondant. You will notice something a little bit different today. Firstly, I'm in front of the camera, which you guys will know I hardly ever do. But I do it when I'm going to give you free stuff, so just so you know. But I'm also being helped out today by the really lovely Sophie Vanessa from Sophie Vanessa Videography. Come on in.
Hey,
She's amazing. She's been helping me with my videos today. So I've done two. I've done a chocolate fondant, which is a melt in the middle chocolate pudding that is absolutely amazing. It's perfect for dinner parties.
So
and you can freeze it as well. So honestly, so good. Definitely worth the effort. And the other thing is a chocolate meringue. Now you guys love my meringue videos for some reason. I don't know why, but they seem to be really popular. So I thought I would do a chocolate meringue video and we're going to show you that one next. So I thought I would let you know first of all that you need to check out the end of the video when I'm going to talk about my giveaway. It's just to celebrate just a few big landmarks that are coming up for me actually. Firstly, I am so close to 10,000 subscribers, I can basically touch it. I have had almost 2 million views, which is just crazy. So happy, thank you guys. And also, I'm actually coming up to near enough 100 videos. Again, completely crazy. You guys will know if you've seen like my first video, it's come a long way. It's come a long way. I was actually showing Sophie them. The first time was on a video camera, sorry, like a webcam. It was on a webcam that you used to plug into computers. You guys who are a little bit older, you will remember that. So, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to run through the ingredients really quickly and then stay tuned at the end because I'm giving away free stuff and you don't really need to do anything for it. So, you are going to need to make this recipe 200 grams of a really good quality dark chocolate. Doesn't have to be dark chocolate, but I just find that milk chocolate is a little bit too sweet, so I would definitely recommend that you go with dark for this particular recipe. 150 grams of caster sugar and 50 grams of Demerara sugar. The Demerara sugar adds just a little bit something extra, but if you don't have it, you can skip it and just go with caster or golden caster. 200 grams of flour, that's optional, I'll talk through that in the video. What else? Oh, 200 grams of butter, use butter, not margarine. You're also going to need about 40 or 50 grams of butter to coat the outside, also the inside of your pudding basins. And you're also going to need some cocoa just to sort of flour that up. So those are the things that you are going to need. I hope you guys give this recipe a go because it's amazing. And in a second, you are going to see how good these look. Perfect for dinner parties. So let's get going. These fondants, I've made it really easy by getting these disposable pudding tins. I got them really inexpensively from eBay. I think it cost me about £5 for 50, but obviously you can buy them in smaller quantities and they're really good. But if you don't have disposable ones, then you can obviously just use small pudding tins. So what you need for this is about 9 or 10. And I say about 9 or 10 because it really depends on how much you fill these up. But if you fill them up quite a lot, then just bear in mind, firstly, they rise, and secondly, they're going to take longer to cook. So what we're going to do, I've got my melted butter here, and really generously, we're going to coat all of the inside. You really need to be really generous because if you're not, then they might not slip out easily and you're just going to have more trouble on the other end. So be really generous with this. I don't think anyone ever said there's too much butter in that. So I've gone all the way to the top and then just pour off the excess. So we're going to do that for all of them. So once you've gone through and you've buttered them really well, and if in doubt, butter them twice just to make sure. We're going to put a load of cocoa in, and that's why I've got this down, to sort of save up on some of the cleanup. So just go all the way around and make sure that you really well coat the inside. And then what you're going to do is tap it into the next one and we'll do the same thing. So it's really well coated, we go around and we coat the next one. And make sure that you do that for all of them and just tap out the excess. you'll have some excess just left at the bottom. It's really important to just go through and to double check that all of these are completely coated at the bottom. And if they're not, just pour it in and just make sure. And sometimes you get clumps where the melted butter has kind of formed a cocoa ball, and just tap that out because you don't need it. But obviously any extra cocoa can just be tapped out anyway. But just make sure that you've given it a really good coating, because if you don't, you might struggle to get them out at the end. Okay, so these are all done now. So I'm just going to put them to one side, and the next thing that we're going to do is melt the chocolate. So over a double boiler, which is just a bowl with a little bit of water in the bottom, I'm just going to turn down the heat. Now that it's come to temperature and that water is on a boil, it's going for a rolling boil. If I just turn it down now, I can just get it to a light simmer. I've got my dark chocolate in here, 200 grams, and I'm going to add 200 grams of butter that I've cubed. This will just melt together now. It shouldn't take too long, but just make sure that you keep stirring it. This is mostly melted now, so all I'm going to do is turn off the heat and just let the residual heat melt this last little bit of butter. And now we can move on to the eggs. In here I've got 4 eggs, 4 whole eggs, and 4 yolks as well. And then in this I've got some Demerara sugar and some caster sugar. It's mostly caster sugar, 150 grams, but I've got 50 grams of Demerara sugar because it gives it this really rich, caramelly kind of flavour, and it's absolutely amazing, so definitely worth doing. As an alternative, you could use soft brown sugar or something like that. This works really, really well. And we are going to mix this with an electric hand mixer until it gets to the ribbon stage, and that is going to take a good 5 minutes. We're much, much closer. This has gone really, really pale, and I can feel that there's a lot of air in it. So just another 30 seconds or so and I think we'll be done. Okay, so you can see here it's completely changed colour, texture, and it's creating really nice thick ribbons as I drag it across the surface, and that's really what you're looking for. So you need to keep going till you get to this point. You can do this by hand, but it's really going to take you quite a long time. So I would definitely recommend, if you have a hand mixer, to use one. Now I've got some flour here. This is sifted flour. So I have already sifted this. It's 200 grams and it's plain flour, all purpose. So you don't need to add all of it, just add a little bit at a time, and you can see that it's sinking into the mixture. And that's ideal because we're going to mix it with the electric mixer, and if it was sitting on the top, it would just go everywhere. So we're just going to add the rest of it now. Just add it a little at a time so that it sinks in. So it's really nice and thick now. So we're ready to add in the melted chocolate. We're going to do that a little bit at a time, and we're just going to stir it by hand. This is the chocolate. It's completely melted now. It's really nice and glossy. And to that I'm just going to add a little bit of vanilla. I've just added half a tablespoon. It's completely optional, but it just adds an extra dimension, I think. So I've just added that, and we're just mixing it around. So what you're going to do now is we're going to add the contents of the chocolate bowl into this bowl. We're just going to add it slowly, a little bit at a time. Now all the chocolate's in, I'm just going to give it a good mix. Make sure that you are folding it. You've just spent 10 minutes putting loads of air into it. You don't want to deflate it by just stirring around in a circle really quickly, so just fold the ingredients in until you've got a uniform colour all the way through. I feel like it's completely mixed, but the joy of a glass bowl is that you can see all the way around and just check to see if there are any really light parts. So I'm just going to have a look, and it looks pretty good all the way around. So now we are ready to put them into our little containers. And there are obviously a few ways of doing it. The way that I prefer to do it is to pour all of this into a jug with a spout and pour them in, or rather than spooning or using a ladle or something like that. I've got a 1 litre jug here, and I'm just going to pour in half of the mixture. And I find that the easiest way to get them all even is to add a little bit to each one and then go around and top them up. Because if you just sort of eyeball it, then you can end up with lots of different ones, loads in the first ones, and then you run out of mixture by the end. So just pour it in. Now they're all of roughly the same height, I'm just going to go through, I'm going to distribute the rest of the mixture, and I'm just going to try and make sure that when I eyeball it, they all look like they have about the same amount in them. Once you've got these in, and you've pretty much filled them all the way, you need to make sure that you leave 1 centimetre to the top. And you will notice that if you get more air in when you are whipping up the eggs, then you're going to end up with more mixture basically at the end of it. If you have kind of skipped that stage, or you didn't wait until you got to full ribbons, you're going to end up with less mixture basically. So these need to go into the oven, and it's quite delicate. They need to go in for between 10 and 15 minutes, but you won't necessarily know until you pull it out and you try to serve it. So always make sure that you make at least 1 or 2 more than you're going to use. What's great about these is that you can store them, you can put them in the fridge, you can make them a day ahead. We're going to put these in the fridge now, and they are going to need a good 20 minutes or so, and they will cool right down, and then I'm going to put them in the oven, and I'm going to try at 12 minutes and we'll see what happens. I might need to put them in for another 2 or 3 minutes, because what will happen if you have undercooked these is they will rise and they will look nice and brown on the top, and you will go to put them into a bowl or on a plate, and it will completely disintegrate because the sides weren't thick enough, you hadn't cooked it long enough. Because with a chocolate fondant, you are baking this, but actually you're not baking it all the way through. You want some of the middle to retain some of its gooiness so that when you cut into it, it will really nicely just fall open and you get loads of sauce. So, put these in the fridge for at least 20 minutes. If you're not going to bake them straight away, just cover them and you can leave them in the fridge for a couple of days, or you can pop them in the freezer for up to a month as long as you've covered them really well, either with foil or with cling film. So I'm going to put these aside, then I'll pop them in the oven and I will let you know what my first attempt looks like. It might be perfect and it might need another couple of minutes, but I will definitely show you either way. These have been out of the oven now for about 2 or 3 minutes. I do feel like they're cooked because when I touch it, it springs back a little bit, but if you can just see here, you can see that there's still some softness inside. So I'm just going to turn this out. Fingers crossed. Perfect. Okay, so we're just going to leave this for a minute and then we're going to put ice cream on. We're going to cut it open and we're going to pray that we haven't overcooked this. So, I have, through the magic of camera, got this sorted. So what we're going to do now, oh, I can see it coming out. We're going to cut it open so that you can see what it looks like inside. Okay, so that has actually turned out really well, happy with that. So it's a really, really amazing dessert. It's best served with either ice cream or cream because it goes really, really well. And you do need to serve this pretty much straight away. So as soon as it comes out of the oven, you want to be putting these onto plates. And as I said, you really are better off having one extra than not enough, because, you know, just through the slight changes of temperature in the oven, that sort of thing, they can not turn out very well if they're not cooked all the way through. And also, I've actually found out that you can not add the flour to these. I know that because I've actually made these previously without the flour and they turn out really well, actually, surprisingly so. So if you do want to miss the flour out, you can do. The only thing that I would say about that is you're going to get a little less rise, and it's going to be less robust around the edges, so you're going to have a much gooier centre, and it takes about the same amount of time, 12 minutes or so. So we've got to the end of the video and I'm just going to talk about the giveaway. Okay, so this wonderful woman owns a bakery in England and she's just amazing and incredible. And I have one of her books and I'm just absolutely in love with everything that she does. She's a perfectionist. Her cakes taste amazing. Her books are amazing and really aspirational as well. I'm not going to lie and say that you can go from never baking a cake to making a cake out of this book straight away. Probably not going to happen. But if you have, you know, just even a little bit of cake experience, she has some amazing tips and tricks and recipes that will turn you into this unrecognizable baker. She's just amazing, so I love her. And because I love her, I have a couple of things from her line that I wanted to give away. So I have these 2 kits that I am desperate to give away and I wanted to show you them and I really want you guys to win them, so give it a go. Okay, first one is this one. This is for making biscuits and is completely amazing and has some cutters and some nozzles and like step-by-steps here and is just brilliant, love it. And then this one comes with some nozzles, some paper cases and also a baking tray at the bottom and a little bit of, you know, what to do, how to make things. So they're really, really good. Got loads of instructions and everything and are definitely worth winning. So all you need to do to win this is to like and subscribe one of my YouTube videos. That's it. Like and subscribe. That's it. So easy. Subscribing, as you guys know, is completely free and completely recommendable, so please do it. Also, I have a Facebook page and I'm going to put the link in the bottom below for my Facebook page. And please, please, please go along and like it. That's it. All you have to do is like the video, or subscribe, or do both. So one of these I'm going to give to one of my like people from Facebook, and the other one I'm going to give to one of my subscribers. And it doesn't matter where in the world you are, I will do my very best to post it to you. So one winner for each. If you live in like some corner of the world that I just cannot get anything to, then I will send you an Amazon voucher instead, because I'm fairly certain Amazon is everywhere. So I'll send you an Amazon voucher instead. But otherwise, one of my winners picked at random is going to win either this one or this one. But you can't win both. Thank you very much for watching. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. Please like and subscribe.